Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Secretary, congrats on your appointment, and thank you for your service to our country. I will look high and low for common ground, and always think it's best when we can work together in a bipartisan fashion. I'm honored that the chairman and ranking member have entrusted me to serve on the rural healthcare task force for Ways and Means. We've done a lot of good work on payment system reform and telehealth application to improve access in rural communities. And there's much more to do, and I look forward to working with you on that specifically. We all have desired goals that I think we agree upon with respect to healthcare policies and getting these incentives right, namely to improve access and quality and to lower the cost. I would say that Obamacare was an abject failure on on every front in that regard. I mean, it doubled the cost of care. People, literally millions, paid a fine to get out of the program, and the ones that stayed in it had very little choice. And so I think doubling down on the experiment in government-controlled healthcare is a real disaster, exponential. And I do think it also expanding or making permanent the temporary waivers is a problem, especially when you take away the percentage of poverty level and below whereby people receive subsidized care. So now people making millions can get subsidized care. I think that's wrong-headed and irresponsible. I think that the mention of climate crisis is always intriguing to me. I think we all I have a different opinion and definition of crisis. I do believe in stewarding the environment for sure. But I think if you ask seniors, for example, if they thought that climate change was their crisis, or in 5 years, Medicare being insolvent was a crisis, I'd say the latter scares them a whole lot more. And I see no plan to fix it. I see only an acceleration of the insolvency by expanding Medicare to 60 to 65. Now, on the topic of crisis, I know I haven't heard a lot of admission that there's a crisis at the border in the administration, and I'm not trying to play a gotcha here, but if you go to the Texas border, you will find out that there is just absolute chaos, and there are threats to Americans on many fronts, not the least of which is the spread of COVID coming across the border. This administration kept Title 42, for which I'm grateful, but it only partially implements it. That is, it differentiates between a single adult and a child or somebody that's part of a family. They're all hosts. They all create a threat of bringing COVID, spreading it, inundating our system, and having a surge that could not only put us in a bad way, but could actually kill American people. So, Mr. Secretary, would you address Title 42 and why that differentiation, and why not just fully enforce it during this pandemic and recovery? And I yield all the rest of the time to you. And I thank you again for your service to our country.
Congressman, thank you for the question. What I can tell you is that Title 42 is based on the actions by CDC based on the science. And so the administration moves on Title 42 based on the recommendations made by CDC. The implementation then impacts not just HHS, but Department of Homeland Security and others as well. What I can say to you is that we use the best judgment we can based on the science to take action. And I can try to respond further in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Mr.